Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Donovan, and I have one thing to say. Glory, glory, Man United! Glory, glory, Man United! Glory, glory, Man United! As the Reds go marching, on! Just the days of days gone by. Donna, we're on our way to Wembley. Rocking the Manchester United t-shirt. I know it's not an official jersey, but those are like $200. Nevertheless, we decided to talk about Manchester United and my personal top 10 moments to do with Manchester United. It is my favorite club soccer team, like it or not. Now, how I got to be a Manchester United fan was that when I was a teenager going into high school, Manchester United were, I believe, the European champs or something to do that. And being part English, English ancestry on my dad's side, I decided to pick up the thing and run with it and practically do the top 10, well, do a lot of Manchester United stuff. I know that Manchester United, everyone's like, yawn, they win every Premier League and all that stuff, the English top division, as well. And they're cheaters and Fergie time, and, everyone gives them more time than they should. At the end of matches, well, boo, fuckity who. Nevertheless, we are going to do the top 10 Manchester United moments of all time. We start at number 10 with the FA Cup shocker against Manchester City, our major rivals, 2024. Man City was kind of a crappy team for the longest time. They weren't really big in the stratosphere of English football until 2012 when they had that great season, beat Man U 8-1 that one game at Old Trafford, and then won the game on Aguero's last second goal. Man, you gotta hate the Reds and the Blues were battling each other. It was Manchester Red versus Manchester Blue at the FA Cup 2024. And I so wanted Man City to cry. Wah, wah, wah. Thankfully, it worked. As Man U won 1-0 and won another FA Cup. We're only one behind Arsenal for the most FA Cups in history. But, I mean, dude, what a moment. Number 9 is the 2013 Premier League title in Sir Alex's farewell season. Sir Alex had been Man U manager, or, well, the coach, since 1986, which is amazing and all that. Just the year after I was born. Anyway, Sir Alex saw Man U react to the shock of losing the 2012 Premier League title on the final day by winning the 2013 one. It clinched Man U's 20th top flight title, Premier League and First Division, cementing their status as England's most successful club, in a sense. Fergie's tearful farewell speech at Old Trafford is etched in the hearts of fans, marking the end of the era. And then Man U went downhill for a little bit. Number 8 is the man known as Cristiano Ronaldo. Not the second time we had him. Manchester United had him twice. This is the first time, in 2003. Coming off of Sporting in Portugal, CR7 was coming to Old Trafford. And people thought, okay, he will probably be a decent player. But few predicted how meteoric his rise would be. Under Fergie's guidance, Ronaldo was one of the greatest dancing fans with skill, scoring ability. The free kicks were amazing. And he held the Man U in their 2008 Champions League run, beating Chelsea in the final after John Terry slipped on his penalty shot, which would have given Chelsea the title, but they didn't. And then Man U won on penalties. Of course, I couldn't stand CR7 in a sense because the whole thing with the winking with Wayne Rooney and all that at the World Cup in 2006. But sometimes you have to separate the country from the club player, if you will. And CR7 was decent for Man U. I was upset when he left. And he came back for a little bit for Manchester United, which was nice, but he wasn't the same guy and went to Saudi Arabia of all places. Number 7 is Wayne Rooney's debut hat-trick in 2004. Wayne Rooney was a legend. Everton had him as a 17-year-old playing for them in the Premier League, which was amazing. But Man U just had to have him, and they signed him for a massive deal. It was a statement of intent. Rooney would play his first game for Man U in a Champions League group match against Fener Barish in Turkey. He announced himself on the world stage with a stunning hat trick and being there for many years with Man U and helping us out with many titles and all that. With Beckham gone and CR7 gone, Rooney had to step up the mantle and all that. Rooney would be Man U's all-time leading scorer, scoring more than Bobby Charlton, which was amazing. And Rooney beat Charlton for the England goals lead. But the fact of the matter is that, Rooney was great, and nothing could beat his bicycle kick in 2010, or was it 2011? Yeah, I think it was 2010-11 against Man City at Old Trafford, and Peter Drury losing his mind on commentary. Wayne Rooney, out of this world. He was. Number six is the shocking Premier League title in 1996. After losing the 95 title to Blackburn, they weren't doing that well. Man U had a youthful lineup to start the 95-96 season. And Alan Hansen, who was doing punditry, a.k.a. commentary, famously says, "You'll win nothing with kids." But Man U proved them all wrong with a squad full of academy graduates. And we will get to that in the next entry. Anyway, Eric Cantona had spent pretty much the second half of the 95 season suspended because of his kung fu kick on that Crystal Palace fan. Yes, the Palace fan provoked him, but no excuse. Cantona could have just slapped him or something like that. And they did so well. And David Beckham coming out of freaking nowhere, putting up that goal. But I think that was the 96-97 season that it happened. But anyway, yeah, Cantona scored a key goal in the FA Cup against Liverpool, making sure they won the league and domestic cup. And of course, the kids, talking about number 5, the class of 92. Few youth groups have ever matched the impact of Man U's class of 92, having icons like David Beckham and his famous halfway line goal, scoring from halfway on the pitch, beating a helpless Wimbledon keeper. I think that was Neil Sullivan. Yeah, when Wimbledon was actually decent. And all that. But yeah, David Beckham weaving his magic for Manchester United, but Sir Alex was really not happy with him and once punted a boot at Beckham's head. Ryan Giggs, the Welshman who set the record for most appearances in a Manchester United sweater for like 20 years. This guy was amazing, and he never went anywhere. Unlike Beckham and the many others, he stayed with one club all his life, I think. I know he's managed several clubs, including Man U, but no. Yeah, Ryan Giggs, the big boy, and technically the winner of the 2008 Champions League against Chelsea, because he scored the winning penalty, and then Chelsea, I think it was Kalou who missed. Someone missed. Anyway, Paul Scholes, great midfielder, the ginger, as they call him, the redhead, who was always there. Gary and Phil Neville, brothers, who kind of were at the rock with the English squad. Nicky Butt did this job. It was the backbone of United's success for more than a decade. I'll buy that. Number 4 is Sir Alex's appointment on the club, 1986. It was amazing. Man U was struggling a bit. They had a few FA Cup appearances to speak of in the late 70s, early 80s, but the fact of the matter is that they needed something. And Sir Alex, coming from Aberdeen in the Scottish League, and also coming from the Scottish team from World Cup 86. It wasn't supposed to be his team in Scotland 86. It was supposed to be Jock Stein's team. They did qualify for Mexico 86, but Stein unfortunately had a heart attack and died. So Sir Alex led Scotland to the World Cup in 1986, and thanks to those pesky Uruguayans and a terrible loss to Denmark, Scotland were eliminated in the group stage. The club was languishing in the league. Ferguson reshaped United's fortunes through youth development and inspired leadership. His reign had 13 league titles, 5 FA Cups, and 2 Champions Leagues, that being 1999 and 2008. Rewriting the club's history and redefining English football, and screwing over Liverpool and Arsenal, other red-shirted teams in the process. And it could have went for shit. In 1990, they were having a terrible league season and FA Cup season. But an inspired win, I can't remember who they played in the third round in 1990 of the FA Cup. If it wasn't for that If Man U had lost that game, Fergie was out of a job. Number 3 is winning the European Cup, aka the Champions League, 1968. Manchester United lifted the European Cup, becoming the first English team to do so. A lot of people thought Liverpool was the first English team to win the European Cup, or Arsenal, or even Nottingham Forest, but nope, it was Man U. May 1968, at Wembley, they took on Benfica with the great Eusebio, but the Reds put on a clinic 4-1. Bobby Charlton, one of the greatest English players, if not the greatest English player of all time. Georgie Best, who was, I believe, the best player ever to never be in a World Cup, because George Best played for Northern Ireland, and unfortunately they had troubles qualifying and all that. And also Brian Kidd helped too. Matt Busby's vision of European greatness was fulfilled, and the triumph had redemption for the club and its loyal supporters. Damn right. Number 2, the Munich air disaster that almost ruined Manchester United in 1958. February 6, 1958, Manchester United was coming off of a European Cup match in Yugoslavia and needed to refuel in Munich before going home. And unfortunately, due to ice on the wings and pilot inexperience, the plane crashed after a third-time try. The Busby Babes, they call it, because Busby was just doing all that. 8 players would die, including 2 stars who probably might have been on England's squad for the 58 World Cup in Sweden, Duncan Edwards and Tommy Taylor. Imagine what it would have been like for England in 1958 if they had those 2 guys. Because 1958 was the last time England failed to get out of the group stage until 2014. Well, when they made the World Cup. I know they missed the 2 World Cups in the 70s and 1994 as well, but, when they made it. Matt Busby was badly injured. But thankfully, Busby was not dead yet. Anyway, the disaster had a turning point. The club's resilience in the wake of tragedy, making the FA Cup, somehow losing it, but they made it to the final, which was unbelievable. It was a powerful moment of unity and hope for everybody. And the number 1 moment has to be the treble in 1999, becoming the first English club to do so, winning the league, the cup, and the Continental Championship, aka the Champions League. 1989 is a glorious chapter and all of that. They're not the last English club to do so. Man City did so. Fuck. So yeah, Man U won the Premier League, the top for their division. They won the FA Cup. They had a few missteps, and I think it was Arsenal who gave up that one Ryan Giggs wonder goal. But nevertheless, May 26, 1999 in Barcelona, that was the moment. They were facing Bayern Munich, who weren't that bad either. They had the great Oli Kahn in net. It was 1-0 for Bayern Munich in injury time. United staged the ultimate comeback. There was a corner, Beckham took a corner, and it went right to Teddy Sheringham, and he put it in the net, tying the game at 1. Fortunately, though, a few minutes later, the game was still going on, and another corner, and Beckham took it, and then it ended up onto the foot of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer from Norway. Manchester United, name on the trophy, as I said. It was one of the greatest Champions League finals of all time. One of the greatest Champions League moments of all time was when Man U somehow and some way pulled off the comeback and won the Champions League. So, glory, glory, Man United. Glory, glory, Man United. Glory, glory, Man United. If you hate us, blank, blank, blank. I'm definitely not going to say it on YouTube. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.